Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all my fellow citizens of Moonhaven Falls. Please listen closely if you can still hear me. We are departing from our regular morning show for a critical update. The growing number of invisible phantoms that have been haunting our streets since last week are no longer ghosts. Since the sun dipped behind the jagged peaks of the Serpent's Tooth last night, the shadows have begun to solidify. The town square, usually a place of warmth and community thanks to our fountain, has been transformed into a gallery of glowing nightmares. I am currently standing just outside the cordon around the town square, and to me they look like nothing quite so much as glowing blobs of colour in the air. But our own Barnaby Buttercup is currently on the balcony of the High Arch Clockmakers and is overlooking the square. Barnaby, please tell me what you are seeing from your vantage point.
Good morning, Moonhaven Falls. I see them, Morwen. There are at least half a dozen of them in the square now. Probably more lurking in the alleyways where the light doesn't quite reach. They're beautiful in a way that makes your blood run cold. Literally.
For the first few days there was just cold patches, and then yesterday they became something like mirages, just odd ripples in the air. But as the town's lanterns were lit and the evening bustle began last night, they started changing again. It's almost like they're vessels being filled with liquid light. They are no longer transparent.
Yes, that's what gave me the idea of coming up here in the first place, Morwen. They were just so large, at least the size of a human, with some reaching dragonborn proportions. I've not gathered the courage to come down here since I realized they've become these massive feline silhouettes pulsing with a deep violet color, and even now I'm having a hard time speaking. Every time a sound is made, a door slamming, a horse neighing, even the splashing of the fountain, their fur ripples with colors like they're drinking the very atmosphere from the town.
Now, you said filling up there, Barnaby. Filling up with what, exactly? We've had reports of freezing pantries and silent rooms all morning. Is this somehow related?
It's everything, Morwen. I grew up with tales of these creatures, and nightmares that stalk the mountain passes, freezing the unwary to death. They're called Sleet Stalkers, if I remember right. They're audivores. They eat sound, and when sound isn't enough, they turn into thermivores and eat heat. I'm watching one right now. It's massive, easily the size of a 2-horse carriage, and it's staring at me from the lip of the fountain. Its tail is twitching a street performer was out there just a moment ago, trying to lighten the mood with a lute. He struck a particularly loud, bright chord, and the creature next to him flared so brightly it blinded me for just a moment, and the lute didn't go quiet more when the sound was inhaled. The strings kept moving, but nothing came out. I saw the performer try to run. His boots hitting the cobblestone made no noise at all, and the stalker just sat there, its hide glowing brighter with every silent step the man took, like watching a predator eating the man's very existence without ever baring a tooth.
Really? Well, speaking of teeth, Barnaby, now that I know I'm looking at a large cat, I can definitely say they look like saber-tooths, but not ones like the history book. Those fangs have got to be at least a foot long, and they look as though they're carved from pure jagged glacier ice. Ain't wet, though. They're dry, frosted-looking almost. Teeth look like they're vibrating when a creature opens what I assume is their mouths.
Are they aggressive, then? Has the town guard engaged? We need to know if the citizens are in immediate danger.
Well, from what you've said, I would call that the strangest part, in some ways anyway. I suppose the most terrifying, but they aren't hunting us, or at least there's no reports of any serious direct injury. Pretty sure I saw one flinch back when someone bumped into it, in fact. But they seem very, lethargic. Like a house cat that's found the biggest, sunniest patch of carpet in the world and has no intention of moving. However, their naps can be catastrophic, if you'll pardon the pun. When they decide to relax in the middle of a thoroughfare anyway. Why, just 10 minutes ago, I saw a merchant trying to lead his grain cart past the fountain. One of the smaller, stalkers, you called them? Stalkers, anyway, apparently decided that the cot looked like a comfortable place to digest its afternoon meal of fountain splashes, and it leapt right up. The entire oak axle snapped like a dry twig under the weight, though. Merchant started screaming at it, which is apparently the worst thing he could have done, and the louder he yelled, the more solid the cat became. Then the temperature in a 30-foot radius dropped by probably 10 degrees as it shifted, hummed. If it's a cat, maybe purred. The merchant's breath started freezing into ice crystals in mid-air anyway. I believe he's currently being treated for frostbitten ears, and he wasn't even touched.
But what about the guard? Surely Captain Alara has a plan to drive them back to the Serpent's Tooth Mountains.
Oh, I think they tried already, Barnaby. A squad of 20 guardsmen marched right into the square about an hour and a half ago when the colours really started showing up well in the dim light. They was clashing their swords against their shields to create a wall of sound, scare 'em off type of thing. It was a bit of a disaster, though. To the stalkers, it wasn't actually a threat. It was apparently a dinner bell. I watched at least 4 more of them drop off rooftops, off the apothecary and weaver shops specifically, to land silently in the snow. They surrounded the guards, not to bite them or anything, at least I don't think so, but rather to just bask in the noise. The guards kept clashing and shouting, and the more they did, the quieter it got, and then the cats just kind of grew brighter, and now that I'm looking at them, more defined. That violet glow is lighting up the entire square like an eerie magical dawn. They got fed, the air turned into a blizzard, and the moisture in the guards' breaths began to coat their armour like they was out in the dead of winter. Had to retreat because they literally couldn't hear their orders anymore.
Well, this is unprecedented. If we can't fight them with force and can't scare them with noise, what's left?
Well, I would guess silence, Barnaby. I'll have to check with Alara and maybe Gary, but if they feed on sound, absolute crushing silence might get rid of them.
Oh, we'll have to starve them out then. If we don't give them sound to eat, they might move on. But for now,
Barnaby, why don't you get inside, buddy, and then maybe very quietly go home? I can tell you're afraid, but I suspect the clockmaker's shop is not where you want to be, not with all the ticking and such. Now, to our listeners, this is not a drill. Please stay inside as much as possible. I would recommend that you don't speak above a whisper if you can help it. We will remain on the air as long as the stalkers don't find our broadcast tower appetizing. So, if we go silent, well, I guess you'll know why, but they don't seem to mean us direct harm, Moonhaven, so stay quiet and, well, stay warm.
Greetings, Seekers of Destiny, and welcome once more to the Arcane Whispers of Alara, Meadowlight. 2 more weeks have unfolded since the ancient bell tower began its guiding chime, its resonant song, weaving clarity into the web of necessity for Moonhaven Falls. 24 weeks now stand between us and the Phoenix's initial fiery ascension, a journey rich with magic, challenge, and the unfolding of profound destinies. Today, however, amidst the grand symphony of awakened forces, a small, yet profoundly significant omen has appeared, a whisper of pure, unassuming good fortune. For in the verdant meadow just beyond the village's edge, where the morning dew still glistens on the grass, a small and unassuming rabbit was observed. It sat calmly, nibbling quite contentedly, not on common grass, but on a patch of rare, magic-infused clover. Even as I watched it, it paused, staring directly at me, and in its mouth, an azure 4-leaf clover. Its delicate whiskers twitched, its soft eyes seemed to hold a secret, knowing look, before it vanished into the undergrowth. This was no mere pastoral scene. The rabbit, a creature of intuition and quiet abundance, consuming the very essence of rare fortune, speaks only of blessings found in simplicity, of luck absorbed into the very fabric of existence, and of a destiny offering its gifts in the most gentle and unexpected ways. A special note on the rabbit and the 4-leaf clover. The sighting of a rabbit eating the 4-leaf clover is an omen of natural good fortune, intuitive blessings, and the quiet integration of luck into your daily life. where the bell tower spoke loudly of a collective destiny with its grand chime, this omen whispers of personal, often subtle moments of grace. For all, this signifies a period where opportunities for well-being and success will arise in unassuming ways, and where trusting your instincts will lead you to an unexpected prosperity. Pay attention to the quiet moments, for destiny now offers its gifts with a very gentle hand. For those of you born under the sign of the Whispering Willow, that is, mid-spring to early summer, the rabbit's gentle feast blesses your growth with effortless fortune and quiet abundance. The active magic of the falls and the Fae's guidance are now aligning to bring you moments of serene good fortune. The rabbit and the clover signify that your personal growth will be supported by unexpected blessings, perhaps in areas where you least expect them. This is a time when opportunities for peace and flourishing will present themselves naturally, requiring very little struggle. Trust in the inherent goodness of the world around you, and allow gentle prosperity to find you. The murmuring of the Moonhaven Falls now sounds like a contented sigh, advising you to embrace the simple joys, and remember that quiet luck surrounds you. A small unexpected gift or a feeling of deep, unburdened contentment could well be a token of this fortunate period in your life. For those of you born under the sign of the Soaring Griffin, that is, late summer to early autumn, the rabbit offers you a swift and intuitive path to advantage, guiding your ambition with unexpected luck. For you, the rabbit and the clover are an omen that even amidst grand challenges and strategic maneuvering, a stroke of good fortune or an intuitive leap will provide a significant advantage to you. Your leadership, while still requiring clear thought, will benefit from moments of unexpected clarity or fortunate coincidences that seem to just appear, especially when needed most. This is a time to trust your gut instinct, to be swift in seizing opportunities, and to recognize that even the most formidable of obstacles can sometimes be bypassed with a touch of luck. The distant roar of the falls now has a light, almost playful echo, advising you to remain agile and open to unconventional solutions. A sudden, clear idea that seems to have come out of nowhere, or a fortunate encounter that smooths your path, may well mark this period of fortune for you. For those of you born under the sign of the Deepening Mire, that is, mid-autumn to early winter, the rabbit's simple act reveals the profound luck in understanding, bringing clarity to a hidden truth. The active magic of the falls and the Fae's insights have prepared you for a deeper understanding. The rabbit and the clover suggest that your pursuit of hidden truths will be blessed by moments of fortunate revelation, where complex mysteries suddenly become clear through simple observation. This is a time when the universe offers a gentle nudge toward understanding, perhaps through a seemingly trivial detail or a quiet, intuitive knowing. Embrace the simplicity of that truth, for even the most profound secrets can be revealed in the most unassuming of ways. The slow and persistent trickle of the falls now seems to whisper ancient secrets with a very comforting tone, reminding you that clarity can be a gentle gift. A long-lost item reappearing, or a sudden, profound understanding of a personal pattern, could be a sign of this fortunate insight. For those of you born under the sign of the Frozen Hearth, that is, late winter to early spring, the rabbit and the clover reaffirm your rebirth, blessing your renewed spirit with an enduring natural fortune. Your magnificent rebirth, now infused with the fall's living magic, is affirmed and blessed by this gentle omen. The rabbit and the clover signify that your renewed spirit is attracting a natural good fortune, bringing an unexpected comfort and a sense of ease to your journey. This is a time when your resilience will be rewarded with moments of quiet joy and a profound feeling of being truly blessed by the world. Embrace those simple pleasures, for they are imbued with a profound luck, and they contribute to your enduring vitality. The steady flow of the falls, even now in its winter embrace, begins to hum with a gentle, reassuring rhythm, speaking of a spirit that is both strong and deeply fortunate. A small perfect bloom appearing out of season, or a feeling of effortless well-being, could well be a testament to your blessed transformation. Please remember that these are but whispers from the cosmic currents, glimpses of what may be. The choices that you make, the actions that you take, these are the true shapers of your destiny. And may the light of the moon guide your path, and may your journey be filled with discovery and fortune, especially as the quiet magic of the rabbit and the four-leaf clover blesses Moonhaven Falls. This has been Alara Meadowlight with your Omen Outcast.
Good afternoon to you, my nationalists and patriots. Greetings to the marshals and the diplomats. A jaunty salute to the silversmiths, the weavers, and the citizens from all walks of life here in the Lost Realms. Welcome back to Crossroads Chronicles, where we delve into the vibrant tapestry of life here in the realms. Today we have a visitor up from the bustling port city of S1E, a place known for its colorful characters. And we have a particularly intriguing individual joining us today, a hairstylist with a truly unique approach to their craft. Please welcome Lumina, the Illumin with a flair for follicular artistry.
Greetings. It is a pleasure to be here with you.
Lumina, welcome to Crossroads Chronicles. Now, S1E is certainly a hub of creativity, but a hairstylist who doesn't restrict themselves based on the amount of hair a client walks in with, that has certainly piqued my interest. Tell me, what inspired this boundless approach?
Oh, well, for an Illumin, the flow of energy is paramount. Our bodies are living conduits, and our sigils resonate with the very fabric of magic. Hair, in its own way, is also a conductor, a tangible expression of one's inner energies. To limit my artistry based on a perceived lack would be to stifle potential, to ignore the unseen currents just waiting to be shaped.
That's a very philosophical way of looking at a haircut. So if someone walks in practically bald, you're not turning them away?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, those are often the most exciting canvasi. From the barest scalp, I can weave illusions, conjure shimmering strands of light, even temporarily manifest ethereal braids that can shift and shimmer with arcane energy. The possibilities are truly as limitless as the weave itself.
Hold on. Illusions? Ethereal braids? This is way beyond your typical trim and tidy. Could you give us an example of what someone might experience in your salon?
Consider a client who feels their inner fire is lacking. With a few precisely placed sigils and a very gentle manipulation of their existing hair, or even lack thereof, I could conjure fiery tendrils that dance about their head, not with actual heat, of course, but with the vibrant feeling of their inner strength and passion. Or perhaps someone desires an air of mystery or intrigue. For them, I might weave shadows into their non-existent locks, creating an aura of intrigue that shifts with the lighting.
So it's less about cutting and styling natural hair and more about magical augmentation.
It is the art of enhancing one's very essence through the medium of hair, whether it's physically present or conjured through arcane artistry. I think of it as sculpting, but with energy, using the head as the focal point. The natural hair, if present, simply becomes another element in the composition.
That's quite a departure from usual comb and scissors we get here.
Oh, I use those too.
Unless you were born completely without hair follicles, exciting them to grow to some rather ludicrous lengths as simplicity itself for one such as I. And how do your clients react to these unconventional methods? Well, initially there's often surprise, perhaps even a touch of skepticism, when I tell them what I can do before they have actually seen me in action. But once they experience the transformation, the way their very presence shifts with their new do, they are usually quite enchanted. It's not merely about appearance, you know. It's about how it makes you feel. I could see that. Have you had any particularly memorable transformations?
Oh, many. Oh, there was this gnome who wished to appear taller, with some cleverly woven illusions of a cascading, luminous hair that seemed to extend far beyond his actual height. He gained a solid foot, visually speaking. And the stoic dwarf who desired just a touch of whimsy, for him I conjured a beard of pure storm cloud and wove it in with his existing beard that would occasionally flash with an internal lightning, throwing off wisps of clouds with his movement.
A beard of storm clouds? Well, that sounds dazzling. Lumina, as an Illumin, do your own sigils play a part in your hairstyling magic?
Oh, yes, indeed. My personal sigils resonate with creation and transformation. By focusing my inner energies through them, I can more easily manipulate the weave to bring these follicular fantasies to life. It is a symbiotic relationship, you know, between my inherent abilities and the desires of my clients.
Well, it sounds like your salon's more than just a place for a haircut. Sounds like a haven for magical self-expression. What advice would you give to aspiring hairstylists in the realms who may be, shall we say, less magically inclined?
I would encourage you to embrace creativity in all of its forms. Look beyond the conventional. Even without magic, the texture and the color and the shape of the natural hair offers a vast palette for artistry, and perhaps even consider collaboration with a local mage. I mean, the possibilities are truly endless when different talents intertwine.
That does sound like some excellent advice, Lumina. It seems that even this far from SUNY, a trip to the hairstylist could well be an enchanting experience. Lumina, thank you so much for sharing your unique perspective with us here on Crossroads Chronicles.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. May your own energies flow freely.
That was Lumina, a visionary Illumin hairstylist out of SUNY, proving that when it comes to self-expression, sometimes you just need to conjure it. You're listening to Crossroads Chronicles on Lost Realms Crystal Network. You have my appreciation, ladies and gentlemen, because this concludes our episode for the week. We do release a new episode every Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern, and I hope you found this podcast engaging, amusing, and a bit distracting. If you did, I would appreciate it if you could please take a moment to just rate this podcast, maybe share it with a friend or a community, as well as stopping by our Facebook or Patreon page to let me know what your favorite segment is. I do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast. It's a simple, easy action. It lets the algorithm know that you listen to and want to continue hearing these stories. For anyone who wishes to directly invest in the future of our work, do please explore our community on Patreon. I personally write, edit, and produce all of the content for this show, so if you want to buy me a cup of coffee for months as encouragement to continue doing so, I gratefully accept. Thank you to all of our supporters, but especially the increasing number of you who have reached out to tell me your favorite segment and even suggest new ones. My family and I genuinely appreciate all of you showing your support by tuning in every week, and we would like to thank you for continuing to do so. I look forward to seeing you in the comments, and I hope you tune in again next week.